CIO News. I'm Akash Mistry, your host for the broadcast at CIO News. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website, cionews.co.in and CIO News LinkedIn handle. This is an exclusive fireside chat powered by Avaya on transformation through customer experience. Businesses are built by experiences they provide. And every day, millions of those experiences are delivered by Avaya. Avaya is shaping what's next for the future of work with innovation and partnership that delivers a game-changing business benefit. It's a pride to introduce my guest for today, Mr. Krishna Sai T, Associate Vice President for IT and SAP for Biocon. Hello, sir. Welcome.
Hey, hi. Good afternoon.
And to tell you more about Mr. Krishna, he is a technology and business visionary, certified project manager, and SAP solutions specialist with a successful career over 22 years in heading IT operations in pharmaceutical majors. Presently working as AVP and head SAP with responsibility of managing SAP projects, including IT integration and ERP implementation and service delivery. We also have Mr. Bhavesh Vora, sales engineer leader at Avaya India South. He has more than 20 years of working experience in various roles. He's a dynamic and result-oriented professional with the progressive leadership experience in enterprise telecom and IT industry. Over to you, Mr. Bhavesh.
Yeah, thank you, Akash, for setting this up. Good afternoon once again, Mr. Krishna Sai. Thank you for joining us. So what we'll do is, I think I'll be asking you a couple of around, I think there are 4 or 5 questions.
Yeah.
We'll take on 20-25 minutes, mainly trying to understand more from the customer service angle, what you are doing, in your Biocon.
Sure.
So I think before we go into the details, if you can quickly introduce, I understand it's a pharma major, about your company, your operations, who do you define as a customer? So because for many times for IT teams, the customer is the employee. Of course, you always have an end customer. And then, in this context, then we'll go and build on what you do for customer experience. You can start with that.
So, any majority of you know what is Biocon is all into, but however, we are a major biopharmaceutical company. We are of starting from API manufacturing to formulations and then also to biosimilars. Right. So each of these 3 verticals handle different set of customers. Like for an IT team, if you are talking about, as you rightly said, all of these internal employees are our customers anyway, right? From an external perspective, in the formulations business is where we have B2C kind of environment. To an extent in biosimilars also, we do have B2C kind of environment. But in general, it's more of a B2B kind of business in our API this thing. So the definition of customer changes. Obviously, in the case of B2B, it's like our peer or...
Right. So I got it. So I think it's mainly B2B. So it's like contract pharma manufacturing.
Yeah.
Plus
not really, in the sense like it's a combination again. In case of API, we are we are the leading manufacturing for a certain set of products.
I got it. So I think I got it. So pretty much a manufacturing, because if you have to manage a customer experience, and maybe you can touch upon both your internal and external. I mean, customer experience is measured in terms of basically using traditional way of interacting with them or use of digital channels. So if we start with that point, I mean, how do you see Biocom and your team in particular providing customer service using digital channels?
Right. So let me first start with the internal one, then we'll go to the external one. So for the internal customers, obviously we started measuring from the traditional way of people reaching out for support, all our internal customers whomsoever, basically for support any technology issue, whatever it is, reaching out in person or call or let's say the mail or whatever. These are all were traditional channels which were there earlier, right? So but now we have also introduced from a digital angle the mobile based to track let's say a ticketing process or customer reaching out, internal customer. So obviously the general thing what we also felt in the traditional channels was that continuous engagement which was supposed to be there with the internal customers. See, it's what we understood or what we have analyzed is it's not about we giving them the solution for a problem, but it's more of engaging with them on a continuous basis. I think that's what will come back to you by this time and all that. This is more on the internal side of it. When you come to the external, since our business is not that kind of major B2C kind of thing where we don't get orders like any FMCG or any kind of business, we do get. We are trying to now provide our customers an online portals where they will be able to see the product portfolio, but may not be the order placing, because order placing has got in a pharma environment, it is slightly what you say, the compliance related activities will come into picture, where you might have to still see whether the customer, even though customer places an order, whether I am entitled to take that order or not. Do I have the license or he has the license to buy that material, and then see what is our product portfolio, where is it standing. These are all the things which are in pipeline for us now.
That's interesting. So I think you touched upon nice. I mean, the traditional way of doing emails to, putting some kind of ticketing solution, and also there's a first step. So I think I have been a SAP user and even a Salesforce user, and I know SAP is like a monster. It's not very easy, the user interface part at least. Whether, and everybody who has to access something, you have to really study a lot, and you have to reach out to IT. I need this report and all of them. So, I mean, I understand. So from that perspective, you're providing support. But what we have seen, a lot of companies now, when you're providing this portal access and ticketing tool and all, and you rightly mentioned you've given mobile app, but do you see channels like, more real time? See, many may not have a mobile app using WhatsApp as a channel or a web, both for the
but very initial stage for us at least, maybe the other, they might be leading it, but for us it's slightly on the very nascent stage now, right? So, but in one area where we are also looking this kind of engagement is also on the patient side of it. So when they wanted to report any issue, right, so there I can't say okay, raise a ticket, or because it's related to the health of the patient. So if they have any complaints, right, so that is where we are trying to explore all the different channels, and we want to make it as open as that, where it'll be very easy to reach to us to report anything to that extent. So that's an area which is.
Let me go to the next question now. So I think customer experience is a very powerful buzzword, mainly in B2C. And as you mentioned, yours is a combination of B2B. Probably you're doing some kind of B2C also. Do you really measure customer service or customer experience? Do you use tools for that?
So so at an overall level, there is no, as of now, we are not monitoring at a central level what is the customer experience across the department, but each of the function or experience at that level, right? So for supply chain also, there is an internal customer, finance also, there might be production, like for us. So what we have done is other than the ticketing tool, whatever we have, end of the issue resolution, we try to take the feedback as well, how the user is satisfied or not. And in general, given the nature of the user, obviously once the issue is resolved, he or she may not be able to ready to give the feedback the way what we wanted. So that's why we do periodic assessments as well, right? So these are instant, try to assess where are we standing, how are you seeing the support function as. So this is more of internal in nature, right? So now on the external side of the account manager who is dealing with the customers, we try to reach out to them and then hear from them their voice. How are we handling? We might be having some issues, there is no doubt on that, but we need to hear and then to correct it, right? So that's how we are trying to tackle this both channels separately.
Yeah, you're right. I think measuring customer satisfaction or customer service on B2B is always much more difficult.
Correct.
Like if you're using an airline or something, is very easy to collect feedback. You just need much more data. Here you struggle to get the data from B2B. Okay, that's a good insight. Okay, going forward, sir, I mean, a lot of tech, since you're managing SAP, I don't know whether it is on-prem or cloud, most applications and even infrastructure cloud, companies are moving everything to the cloud,
Right.
And most companies are still hybrid. A lot of things are on premise, a lot of things are on cloud. How has been your journey, over the last few years, and specifically in the last 1 or 2 years? Are you moving to cloud or?
See, as an industry, for us as a pharma generally has been, let's say an industry which is close to one, because primarily of the compliance angle. There's a lot of compliance we have to adhere to. It's not that other industries are not, but generally what my experience is slightly on the higher side. So there was a slight resistance initially to move on to the cloud, because the data, our data going on to cloud, storing there, what about the security, or how does that happen and all. So I think this is some maybe 3-4 years back, or maybe or maybe slightly more, 5 years back or so, in the next 1-2 years kind of time frame. There is one challenge what we also got it is through COVID as well, wherein in the pharma. So while I was talking about the previous the concerns with respect, we also started thinking, is it the right time for us to move totally towards cloud, while it still has got its own ifs and buts. Another 1-2 years the way it might be required. So that's what I feel.
There is a feeling I can roll out things very fast.
Yeah.
But then the security is a concern, and we have to go through the whole process of security compliance and all.
Yeah.
But eventually, most of our people are moving to cloud.
Yeah.
But I think it's still industry-wise, it changes a lot. I think there's a good input.
Yeah.
I think let me go to the next question now. I think we covered cloud. We also touched about digital channels, customer service. Is there an adoption of tools like artificial intelligence, machine learning, automation in the processes, both on the customer facing side, or maybe the manufacturing side, or on the IT side? Are these kind of technologies used within the IT systems at Biocon?
Yeah. So during the pandemic and all, there is a huge push which came in towards digitization, in the sense like previous only we were trying to do something, but during this and post this, there is a huge push towards automation, reduce the dependency on certain, let's say the processes which are human centric or whatever it is. So now we started looking towards automation as one big area, whether you use RPA, robotic process automation, or any other technical way of completing a transaction, whether it is on SAP or outside SAP, in and around SAP, wherever it is. So that's more on the automation part of it. Now, with respect to AI ML, that is still we are at least still in the very nascent stage. Primarily, we are now targeting towards in the production and in the manufacturing and the quality area. We are now looking at to capture that data. So we have a huge data which is relying with our equipments and the lab equipments or the lab instruments what we have. So that data is to be captured first at a central place. But automation is one area where we have already started and we are moving ahead on that.
Okay, very interesting. COVID pandemic, a lot of us have been forced to work from home. I know most of the pharmaceutical companies have been working. They have been working around the clock. They have been going to office, but maybe for many of them, it has been a combination of working from home and office. So when they're working from home, both from the infrastructure side and the application side, providing all the tools to the employees, more specifically collaboration tools like the collaboration platform we're using now for this kind of a webinar, giving them access from home, providing VPN access or open access and all. How has it been for you, and how have you been managing for the two? Was it successful? Was it too strenuous? Because the biggest pressure had always been on the healthcare industry, hospitals and doctors and all. And I've also seen it has been a huge pressure on CIOs. To make all these things work.
So you are right. I think it's like I said earlier, it has been a huge the unexpected thing which came in. And yes, we have also gone through the same journey to kind of ramp up what was done with respect to the VPNs and all. And there are two issues. One is about the end users, the existing users who have been already there and whom we have to support to continue the business operations. But as you rightly said, for us the operations were continuing, and in fact operations were ramped up as well because of the
huge demand
in the market, and our manufacturing has been increased, right? So there while there is a challenge with respect to people, but we made in such a way that the priority is given to production and quality, because they are obviously the people who are supposed to be there. All the supporting functions are doing working from home and all, but the demand for the resources, what is required to operate it from work from home kind of situation was like, definitely multifold kind of thing. No,
Yes.
I can't even say, what was there earlier to now, right? But luckily, what you rightly said, the collaboration tools, there's a huge adoption which came in. So now everyone started saying that, okay, now we don't need to actually meet only physically. Earlier,
Yes.
it was like, okay, you have to come to this place to get some work done, right?
Yes.
Now everyone believes that, no, we don't need to. It's like as and when if it is required, you can as well do it through so the adoption of the digital technologies has definitely increased a lot, and at the same time it's a pressure on the technology team, which has been handled very well by our team. That's what I can say.
Yeah, I think that's a very good insight. So I think we are done. Just if I have to summarize, I think Mr. Krishna Sai, I think doing a lot of stuff on the use of mobile apps, portals, digital channels for customer service, both for internal, external. Cloud is something which you are seeing is going to increase. Even adoption is going very, very high. Measurement of customer experience also, as you said, each business does it separately. Internally, you do it separately because it is more B2B. I think that's a good thing. Huge adoption of automation. AI ML is something which is very, very picking up, and collaboration, as you said, I think huge adoption of collaboration in the pandemic. So I think that covers all the aspects. Good insights for us. It validates some of our thoughts as well. So I am done. If anything else you want to add, please add, Mr. Krishna Sai, or over to you, Akash. I think we are done.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. Thank you, Bhavesh. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krishna. Thanks for your time and input. It was a great conversation. Thank you, Mr. Bhavesh, for conducting this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.